and welcome to another edition of the Rorschach Test Podcast. I am your host, Tyrell James. Today, I got a very special guest, Jonathan Blaine, although I don't call him Jonathan Blaine, I call him Coach B. This is my boxing coach, also my business partner. But we'll get into all of that stuff a little later on. But, Coach, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, just chilling, man. You know me, trying to stay above water.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So look, what I do here, Rorschach Test Podcast, I put up a series of Rorschach tests or ink blot tests,
Right.
and I ask my guests what it is that they see. So based off of what they see, I link it to who they are as a person, and I link it to their passions. I link it to the things that they do for a living.
Right.
So I've already sent you three pictures. What you don't know is that there's going to be a surprise picture. It's going to be a picture that you haven't seen. And but that'll come later. I'll put that
All
picture
right.
out, and then you can just tell me that we're gonna be right there on the spot. You tell me
All
what
right.
you see, and then I'll try to link it.
All right.
So, but the two things that we are going to talk about, two of the things as far as your passions are concerned, we're going to talk about boxing, of course, but we're going to talk about music as well. But so let's start with boxing, though. How did you get involved in boxing?
Well, when I was coming up, I got into an altercation with a guy that I grew up with, and I lost. And my father sent me to number two boys club. I
Hold on.
messed around down number two boys
You
club, but I wasn't
start.
serious.
Hold on, you stopped for a second. You said you lost, and then what happened?
uh, my father and my cousin JoJo
Hmm.
sent me down to number two boys club because JoJo knew the guy in number two boys club. 'Cause you know my cousin JoJo is a basketball player, played with Milwaukee Bucks,
Right,
so he
right,
was well known around there. But anyway, I went down there and messed around down there, in and out, in and out. Wasn't serious until I went to went to jail, came back out, then I started boxing again, and then I really took off then.
right. So, how old were you when you got serious about it?
Well, I got serious about it, I was like 18, something like that, 18. But I
Okay,
was also getting in trouble too, I was
right,
in the street.
right, right. Okay. Um, how much of that time? Well, let me hold off on that question. I'm gonna get into that question later. We'll talk a little bit more about the streets and how it pertains to you boxing. We'll get into that a little later. But okay, so let's talk about music. So, tell me about your connection to music.
Well, for one, I love all music. I'm really a jazz man. I love smooth jazz, progressive jazz, or whatever you may call it. And I also, I used to try to sing and all that stuff, all that kind of stuff. So I
Hmm.
got into music, and then I started trying to do the studios. I'm trying to get people, sign people under my label and stuff like that. But it didn't go well because I didn't really have no whole lot of contacts with no industry people. So
Right.
it that was off and on. You know,
Hmm.
I
Okay.
really didn't have no contact. That's all
But you
that was.
never lost the love for the music,
Never,
and never lost the desire to want to put people out there.
never.
Right,
I'm still trying to do it.
right, right. Absolutely. Okay. All right, man. So look, we're gonna get into the first test that I sent you. Okay.
Okay.
So this was the first one, and in
Yeah.
this picture, you said it looks like a strong man, and in the middle, it looks like a bird.
Right.
Okay. So So look, there's a lot of strength that is developed in the midst of pain and love. And now, right now, I'm focusing on the strong man, the strength.
Right.
So there's a lot of wisdom. I'm sorry, there's a lot of strength that is developed in pain and in love. So has that been the case for you? Like, have you been able? Because look, I know you, and I know how strong you are. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, even physically. Of course, you have to, be physically strong to be a boxer. But um the strength that you have acquired, has it been because more so because of love, or has it been more so because of hate?
Well, it's a combination, but I can tell you, it's more on the hate side, not just being the devious hate, but the hate of where I've been,
Hmm.
like in prison, and you know, things that been taken away from me, and stuff like that. That kind of way. That's what made me that way.
Hmm.
When I was denied of things that I figured I was supposed to have but couldn't get, and people was in my way. That's how I got to that point.
Right. So when that happened, like, how did that make you feel? And based off of how you felt, how did you react to it?
Well, during that time, I reacted in violence.
Hmm.
I wanted to fight.
Right. So were you able to translate that into boxing? So you were able to get into the boxing ring. Did that, when you got in, when you started boxing, did that stop you from being so violent outside of the boxing ring?
Meaning, as far as becoming to um, understand, let me see, understanding how to control your emotions and your
Hmm.
inner feelings.
Right.
Yeah, boxing teach you discipline.
Hmm.
So you when you start realizing who you are and what you can do, that's when
Hmm.
you get confidence in holding what you know. I ain't
Right.
got to jump out there because I know me. I know what I can do.
Right.
So in that way, that makes you understand that some things you can avoid when necessary.
Hmm. Yeah, it does help you to keep your pride in check. Um, us as men, especially black men, there's this certain level of aggression that just comes with being a black man, and even growing up in DC, growing up in certain environments, whatever. So there's a certain way that you feel as though you have to carry yourself, but a lot of that is birthed in pride. But
Right,
with with boxing, it does teach you that discipline. It does teach you to be able to try to control those emotions and put that pride to the side, because you do understand what you can do to somebody.
right, absolutely correct.
Right. So, and there are a lot of people. I remember speaking to people, um when just in training people, because I'm a trainer as well, as you know. But they speaking to people about training children, and they've said that, well, it teaches kids aggression. And I'm like,
Yeah,
nah, it doesn't teach them aggression. It teaches them, or and they say that it teaches them violence. My thing is, I say it teaches necessary violence. But necessary violence means that's after I've tried to avoid the conflict, and you've pushed me to the point that now I absolutely have to react. So at
right,
that point, it becomes necessary. But that's
right,
not the first thing that we teach. We teach you the peace, we teach you discipline, we teach you to avoid the conflict first.
absolutely.
And it's but people, all they see is what they see on TV. They see two people fighting. That's it. And they think that that's the extent of what boxing is. But they don't understand the mental and the emotional work that goes into that. But I do want to ask you about that. What kind of mental and emotional work um, do do you have to do in order to be a boxer, and not just to control your emotions outside of the ring? I mean, inside of the ring. Like, what type of mental work and emotional work do you have to do to prepare for a fight?
Well, you just got to be you got to be positive. You got to always have the positive part in everything that you do, and
Mhm.
then you got to be loyal to what you're doing. Meaning that if you teaching me how to box. You teaching me skills. You teaching me how to throw these punches. I have to have the positive energy to do what you say in order to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell me to lean over and throw an uppercut this way, and if I lean over and throw an uppercut that way, that means I'm not positive. That
Mm-hmm.
means I'm negative in what you teaching me, and within in myself, I'm being negative. Now, if I go over there and throw that shot like you said, and it worked, that means you're loyal to what you're learning. You're getting taught.
Mm-hmm.
Now you realize that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm not gonna go out the guidelines. I'm gonna stay within the guidelines to keep doing what I'm doing to learn.
Right. Now, what about from an emotional aspect? Without saying any names, but one of our fighters, one time went into a fight and he got hit, he got dropped. They called it a tie. They called it a draw. I don't know if you remember this or not, but if not, we'll talk about it off
I
air.
remember
Look,
that fight.
okay, all right.
I
They
remember.
called it a draw. So when I went and I asked them afterwards, I said, "What was going on when you got hit? It looked like you were distracted. You were fixing your trunks. Like what was going on?" And he said, "I just heard somebody had just told me that my kid's mother was cheating on me, and I was messed up. I wasn't in the right frame of mind when I was in there fighting." And I told him, I said, "Then that dude that was standing across from you, in your mind, he's supposed to be the guy that she's cheating with, and you supposed to take it out on him."
Right.
So, like, but just as a coach, how do you prepare somebody when they have some sort of emotional anguish or something going into a fight? Like, how do you get them to channel those emotions into the fight and have them take that out on the fighter?
Basically, you just said it, and you just said what you said about the dude across the ring.
Right.
Prime example, a great example. Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. That day Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas' mother died. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
And he took his frustration out on Mike Tyson.
Right.
And they said Buster Douglas cried after that fight
Mm-hmm.
for his mother. So what he did, he built up positive energy to deal with what was going on before, and then he broke down afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's being focused,
Right.
and that's positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So basically, you explained the whole thing just a second ago.
Right. Right. Okay.
If you can focus these things on something that's positive
Mm-hmm.
and not negative at that moment, then you can deal with just about anything.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Self
Absolutely.
control.
Yeah. Self control, discipline, and yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put this picture back up for a second, because the other thing that you
Uh,
said you saw was a bird. Said right,
in
right
in
in
the
the middle,
center
it
of
looks
it,
like a bird. What'd you say?
right? In the center of it, it looked like
Right.
a bird.
Right. Right. Looks like a bird. Okay. So, when I think about birds, I think about freedom. You know.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about freedom and what you did after being released from prison to help make sure that you remained free.
Well, I revolve myself around people
Hmm.
within sports. When you doing something positive, you don't have much time for negative.
Right.
So if you got people, children that's under your guidance, how
Hmm.
could you do something negative? You got to always be focused.
Right.
So by me involving myself around boxing and being a coach and a mentor and a father figure and this and that,
Hmm.
you got to command understanding and wisdom within them moments. Ain't no time for failure
Right.
because you don't want to get in no trouble with nobody's parents. or even with yourself when it's like that, when you involve yourself around sports or whatever,
Hmm.
schooling or whatever, you got to be professional all the way through.
Right. Right. Okay. So, all right. So let's stick with freedom. I want to stick with freedom, but I want to switch over to music now. So, you have one. You had your label, and you had your artists that were under you. Now, the way the record label is, I'm sorry, the way the record industry is, this industry is there's a lot of controlling of the artist. The
Right.
artists don't have very much freedom because the labels want you to do a certain thing and look a certain way and talk about a certain thing. They want you to conduct yourself
Mm.
in a way because, of course, their bottom line is always money.
Right.
So, but when you're the artist or when you're somebody who's so connected to the music and you have a passion for it, you look at it differently. It's not just about that money. So, with you and the artists that you've had under you, how important has it been for you to make sure that they maintain their creative freedom when they're creating music?
I never put no stress on them. I never, I try to make people feel good.
Hmm.
If I can take stress off you, that give you a sense of freedom. Uh, if I'm not charging you or telling you that you owe me this or you owe me that, and I'm taking care of everything or helping them get to where they going or help them get to the studio, you know, I try. That's how I try to get them to be free
Right.
within their mind. So you know, it's just a sense of knowing what you need, knowing what you want at that moment, in order to be free. You can't just walk out the street and say I'm free because you can have a lot of stuff. Just like I tell people when they be telling me they want to unstress themselves and this and that, but they go and get high. How come you want to go get high? The high ain't gonna last them but a couple minutes, and
Hmm.
you be right back to the same situation.
Right.
So you got to understand how to self medicate yourself and free your mind from all the toxins that's
Hmm.
flowing through your mind and thoughts. And that's how you free yourself and be comfortable. You got to be comfortable
Hmm.
within your life and within people around
Right. Okay.
you. That's
Um,
what I think.
hmm You know what, man? Before I move on to the next part, I just want to say that this right here is part of what I believe makes you such an incredible coach. You are, I moved from boxing gym to boxing gym, and then when I came over to Born Champions Boxing with you, that became home to me.
I couldn't hear you. Say that again.
I said, the everything that you just said is part of the reason that I feel that you were such a great coach.
I think we breaking up a little bit.
Really.
I can't hardly hear you.
All right, can you let me see something? Let me make sure the reception isn't hold on one second. All right. It looks like I'm good on my end. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. But no, what I was saying was everything that you just said is part of the reason that I believe you're such a great coach because um there aren't a lot of, with some people they just teach you how to box, but you don't necessarily get those life lessons. And I remember going from gym to gym. And then once I came over to Born Champions to you, that became home for me. There was no need for me
Right.
to look for any other gyms because I had people that were over there trying to, train, with boxing or whatever. But and I think the other thing is I feel as though you were, when I first started boxing, my father put my first pair of gloves on me when I was 7 years old. He used to box. So he was teaching me some things. And then as I got older, when I turned 18, that's when I decided to really get into the gym. So
Right.
I moved from gym to gym, and I think another part of the reason that I decided to stick with you was I think you reminded me of my father's style of fighting.
Right.
You know, you hit the refresh button on everything that my father taught me. So it was important for me to stick with you because you know you were reinforcing what I already knew. But
Right.
there was so much positivity. There was, you know, the way that you spoke to the fighters, the way that you spoke to me, you know, it was encouraging. It was very encouraging. Not to the point where you were coddling, because this is boxing. Of course, we're going to be aggressive, but you knew the right things to say. You knew the right things to do. And that, in addition to just being an incredible coach, you know, is the reason that you've been able to have the type of success with the fighters that you've had. So I just wanted to say that really quickly before I moved on.
I'm sorry.
Um, so okay,
Somebody trying to call me.
of course they would. Of course you get a call right in the middle of the
Well,
interview. Um, all right, look, I'm about to move on to the next picture now. So let's see here. All right, so this was the other picture right here, and in this picture, you said it looks like a puppy or a man with a bald head.
yeah, you know how bows on is? You got hair on the side and none on the top.
Yeah, yeah, I see. Kind of like Sherman Helmsley.
Yeah, and then in the middle, it look like a puppy or something.
Okay. All
Or
right. So, all right, let's talk about let's stick with puppies. So puppies, dogs. Puppies are loyal. They're loyal to people. So I want to talk about loyalty. And I want to talk about how loyalty has shaped you. But I want to speak about that in terms of the people who have not been loyal to you. The people that you have been loyal to, but they have not reciprocated that loyalty. How has that shaped you?
well, it pushed me. It has pushed me back
Hmm.
from a lot of people. You know, even family. It pushed me back. It took me to really get broken from them, man. To realize how important my life is to me,
Hmm.
opposed to trying to help everybody else to do something positive, and they don't want it. They didn't want it. I mean, I was in the process of making my life positive, so I wanted to put people around me that was trying to be positive too.
Hmm.
But the way they treated me, and talked about me behind my back, and lied to me about money, and they needed this and they needed that and didn't really need it. Like some of them, they asked me for money and went and bought weed.
Hmm.
I bought boxing outfits and boxing shoes and stuff like that, and I'm the head coach. You supposed to pay the head coach. I never got a dime.
Right.
But and then you got people on the outside of boxing that you thought was good or a friend or best friend. You didn't have that. I didn't really have that.
Hmm.
So today I'm just about alone, man. I
Right.
be to myself today. You know,
Hmm. Yeah. So it's like you've been loyal to a fault. You've been loyal to people that didn't deserve it.
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
And that sucks. It sucks to do that because you know when you have somebody is such a great person, somebody is such a great heart, and that person gets taken advantage of. You know, there's only so much that you can take advantage of a good person before a monster is created. So, but
Man,
sometimes instead of that monster being created, you're like, all right, let me just retreat so that this monster doesn't come out. and
that's right.
and right, because that's not who I want to be at my core. I don't want to be that monster, but you know, there's only so much you can take. You know, a cup can only hold a cup full. So,
You're absolutely correct. That's why I try to move on because I don't need that old me, man. I don't
right,
need that.
exactly. Yeah, we need you
I,
out here.
yeah, I be sitting back in one of them places, man. Again, man, I ain't with that one. I won't be behind nobody's bars, man. I'm done with that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But all of that stuff, we will document all those things. We got a book that we're gonna work on. We got a documentary we want to work on. Hopefully, turn it into a movie. But we have plans on doing your life story. I mean, this podcast couldn't possibly tell the story. About how just how amazing your story is, from all of the ups and the downs. But we're definitely going to document all of those things and just put that out there because it's such an incredible story. um
Yeah,
but okay, so next, you said you saw is what looks like a man with a bald head. Let me put the picture back up one more time. Okay, so
yeah,
it said a picture of a man with a bald
yeah.
head. So oftentimes people lose their hair, not all the time, but sometimes, and oftentimes people lose their hair because they are stressed. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about stress at this point, but I want to talk about boxing and stress. I want to talk about walking into a fight being under stress. Tell me about a time that you went into a fight and you were stressed, but you made that person pay for everything that you were feeling.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I fought a dude named Terrence Ingram, and Terrence Ingram, no, he wasn't no sharp dude. Like he was a real big fighter,
All right, hold
and
on. Your reception is getting a little funny right now, man. You said, say it again. You said you fought a guy named who?
huh?
All right, say it again. The reception was a little funny. You said you fought a guy named
Oh,
who?
I fought a dude named Terrence Ingram.
Uh huh.
Terrence Ingram wasn't no fancy fighter, no sharp dude, and nothing. He was a good basic fighter, and he was beating a lot of people. And I knew this. I knew this from little places I fought at and places he fought at, and he wasn't losing. And sometimes you can get stressed when you know this next person ain't going for it, just like you not going for it.
Hmm.
So you start stressing, trying to figure out how you gonna get them and how you gonna do this and how you do that. Man, let me tell you something. The things that I thought stress was stressing me out
Hmm.
wasn't even the problem. The problem why dudes was losing against him is because he had the best defense in the whole gym. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So this what really stresses you out when you can't hit somebody. You doing all the slick stuff, all the sharp stuff. You twisting your man, turning them, spinning them, popping, pop, 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 and you ain't hitting nothing. So, so, so then you turn around, he popping your head a little bit. Now you realizing why he beating everybody.
Hmm.
He got defense and he a good counterpuncher.
Right.
If you're not hitting me and I'm hitting you, who you think gonna win?
Exactly.
You ain't got to knock me out. As
Right.
long as you hit me,
Yeah. Just went on
and,
points.
and that and that's how I not only was stressed at the beginning before I even fought him,
Hmm.
is how I was stressed after the fact too.
Hmm.
Because the dude was a master of defense. So
Hmm.
stress can run a long way.
Yeah.
Stress can run a long way. And plus, when I fought this dude, I was in prison.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, waiting to go home. Like uh, a year and a half. I had a year and a half.
Hmm.
All you think about is going home,
Right.
especially when you did like 15 already. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
And like today, out here today, stressed out. I'm
Hmm.
stressed out about my health and everything.
Right. Yeah.
So the more you work on something and it's not dead, that goes to show you that it's more work needed.
Mm-hmm.
But you thinking this work shouldn't take that long because you're doing the right thing. But everything take time, just like everything took time to come on me to get me sick. The
Right.
things I was doing, eating the hamburgers and doing all that stuff that got me diabetes and high blood pressure. All that stuff take time. When it
Mm-hmm.
come on you, it come on you,
Right.
and it's hard to get off you.
Mhm.
So you can get stressed. I'm stressing that way too, man.
Right. Okay. All right, man. Well, look, I want to move on to another picture. So
Okay,
this was the third picture that I sent you. So
and
you
that's like a
said,
predator right there.
yeah, you said it looks like the face of a predator, and then you also said a small dog. Now we already talked about dogs. We talked about puppies, so I'm not even going to
Yeah.
really talk about that. But what I want to do is kind of turn the tables a little bit. So we talked
Okay.
about some of the great things about you, right? But of course, there's two sides to every coin. There could be a darker side, right? So
Uh.
so here's the thing about predators. Predators, they don't always come in the form of apparent intimidation. Sometimes, you oftentimes when you think of a predator, it's something that you look at and they appear intimidating, but they don't always appear that way. They don't always come in an intimidating form. Sometimes they are manipulative. Sometimes they so what they do is they try to play with emotions so that they can prey. They can
Right.
prey on a person or prey on whatever it is. They do things like victimize themselves. They display a false sense of security, but they're also very charming. You know, it's very manipulative.
Right.
It's a different form of predatory behavior, right?
Right.
Have you ever gotten to that point in your life where you had to be the predator and you use
Yeah.
some of these things to get your way?
Yeah. I was like that a lot of times. That's how I got in a lot of trouble too.
Hmm.
Yeah. Being a predator, see something, see something of yours that I want.
Hmm.
I be coming after you. I be yeah, charming. I be all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Lord. But if I get it, that yeah, I'm good with it. But
So were there times where you would try to make the person feel comfortable enough for you to be able to kind of sneak your way in there and get it? Or was it more of a, or did you try to make them feel comfortable enough and it didn't work? So then you had to use force without incriminating yourself,
uh,
without incriminating yourself. So like this, and of course we're
yeah,
talking about the past. We're talking about a very long time ago. So,
yeah, yeah.
you
I
know.
used to take it, man. I used to go ahead and just take it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm just doing interview, but I already, I'm asking questions I know the answer to, but
Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it up off you, man. During them days, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it off you. Won't wear it up. I'm gonna get it off.
Man,
But
one of my favorite stories is when you said that people would well, actually two of my favorite stories. So the very first time we had a conversation like this, I was in the gym with you and we were just talking. I had just finished training and we were just talking about some things that you did in the streets, right?
oh yeah,
I can't remember why we had this conversation, but for whatever reason, it went to this, right? So we sitting there, we talking about it, and I guess the look on my face, because of what you were saying, I guess the look on my face was like, this doesn't sound believable. I don't know if I believe this, right? And you
yeah,
picked up on that and you said to me, "Oh, you looking at me like you don't believe me? Hold on one second." Hey, and you called your cousin, right? You
yeah,
called Jeff over there. You say, "Hey, Jeff, come here." He said, "Hey, man, tell him how it was in the streets. Tell him this." That. So then you started saying all of the stuff that you were doing, and Jeff was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." He did all that. I was like, "Oh, never question you again."
yeah.
But
Told you, man. I told you I can get a lot of people that can verify that kind of stuff without.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I
and
told
that
them
was
I used to walk down the street, man. They call their kids in the house.
That was the other thing I was about to say. That's my other little favorite story. Which I mean, I guess I shouldn't. That shouldn't be a favorite story of mine, but it's just funny to me, you know. But for them,
Yeah,
for people to constantly say, "Man, be outside, man, get in the house," telling their kids, "Man, get in the house,"
yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah,
Them was the days, man. I look back on them days, man. I'm glad I'm still walking the earth, man.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was about to say, man. It's one of the things, man. You
Yeah,
know, we can look back and we can kind of laugh at it, but we also have to be thankful for where you are now, and
oh,
just
it's no
thankful that you're on
question,
the
man.
other
Cause
side of that. You're far removed from that life.
them days, them days, man.
Hmm.
You made it through them days, man. I can assure you, man. God got something in store for you.
Right.
You
Hmm.
still here with your eyes open.
Right.
And he kept you for a reason.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Th- Them was some,
Okay.
them was some, them was some, them was some terrible days, man.
Hmm. Yeah.
When you
So
come out with that book, man, people gonna say, "Man, is he for real?
yeah.
Did he do this? He did that? Yeah, I did it."
so so tell me this, because you have had to be the predator, it makes you aware of other predators, correct?
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes because
Yeah.
all predators always have a challenge for the next one.
Hmm.
You can be say for instance use a hell of a stick up boy
Hmm.
and you sticking up everybody and you getting money and this and that and this and that. Or it's somebody trying to get you.
Right.
No, they don't care who you is or how many people you stuck up and got away or how many people you crushed or whatever.
Hmm.
You always got a challenge. It's always somebody big and bad
Yeah.
than you.
Yep.
Yeah, so to keep you on your toes, you got to. I can tell you a story. I can tell you a story. One day, me and one of my son's mother, we was standing on the corner talking, and out of nowhere, they robbed us.
Hmm.
Now I ain't had no whole lot of money or nothing on me,
Hmm.
but the dude kept telling me to get on the ground. My son mother can tell you. I told him, nah, I ain't never getting on no ground. You ain't gonna kill me on the ground. Nah. And then when they was getting ready to leave, I said, hold up for a minute. He go a pack of cigarettes and a cigarette lighter. Y'all can take these too. Yeah. Well, it goes to show you that predators come all types. They all kinds, man. You never know who they is,
Right.
and they always it's always a challenge.
Hmm.
All tough people get challenged.
Right.
It don't make no difference who you is.
Hmm. Yeah.
Don't make no difference.
Yep. And that's why I tell people, you be careful about the things that you say, because somebody's going to make you have to stand behind those words.
Absolutely correct.
Got to be careful what you say.
Absolutely
Hmm.
right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um.
but I'm getting old now, so I ain't thinking about challenging nobody. I ain't trying to be no predator. Nothing. I'm just trying to make it home, give me a chicken sandwich, and go on there.
Hey, but see, the thing is, man, even when you get older, older boxers are still dangerous, man. And
Oh,
women.
I can still throw a few of them there. I can
Oh, I know
still,
you can.
I can keep somebody up off me there.
Yeah, yeah.
I might can't knock everybody out like I used to, but I might keep you off me about 3 minutes to 5 minutes. After that, I think I'm gonna call for help. Yeah,
Yeah, once that round is over, we supposed to be done.
yeah,
Just 3 minutes
yeah,
and go by, and we still fighting now. Something's wrong.
yeah, yeah. Come tell somebody to break it up or something. Yeah, but
All right,
yeah,
man.
man.
I got
Is this
another picture, but this is picture you haven't seen yet.
okay?
So just tell me what you see here.
Dang. Let's see. It look like a king's crown, man.
King's crown. Okay.
It look like a king's crown, or or like a spaceship or something.
Hmm. Okay. All right. I tell you what, we're gonna stick with that king's crown. Okay.
King's crown. Okay.
Yeah. Our logo, man, I wish I had one of our shirts, but
Yep.
our logo is a crown with boxing gloves hanging off the off the crown. The born
Born
champions.
champion. Crown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Yeah.
so in a lot of ways, some of the fighters that you trained they haven't necessarily gotten to the point that they should have, but of course, no fault of your own. Other people, people have fallen off. People have just decided not to. I mean, we talking about being ranked, what, number 6 in the world, number like
Number 5.
number 5 in the world, yeah, without using names. But some, and it's been a few people that have been ranked under you. That crown, you absolutely deserve that crown for what you've done for fighters.
Yeah.
But what type of let's see, how do I want to phrase this? At what point
Yeah.
did you I remember when we first met, your voicemail said Jonathan Blaine, the greatest boxing coach ever. Something to that point, something to that effect. You know,
Yeah.
basically you were the king at this. You were the king. What did you do? Because see, the thing is this: that wasn't just you saying that. That's how you were viewed as well. Other people saw you as that. I saw
Yeah.
the type of respect that other fighters and trainers had for you, and still have
Yeah.
for you. Um,
Yeah.
how do you think that? What do you think is it about you? Whether it's your personality, whether it was your time in the streets, whether it's the way that you fight. What was it about you that made you work into that position of being the king?
I think. I think a lot of people knew and seen me box before, and I also think it was my personality because I'm always being humble. When I started being around kids and young adults and stuff like that, and plus the boxing world when I started training, I give people respect. I always invite them to my gym. If they ain't got no place to train at, they can come over to the gym, and you know, it was and then I gave me to the PVA, the boxing, uh, uh, the boxing league here
Hmm.
in Washington, and they gave me plaques and stuff saying that I'm coach of the year. I forgot the other plaque they gave me. I think it's most supported coach.
Hmm.
So and then I produced a lot of good fighters. So
Right.
the big three, Mike, Jordan, and Marcus. I wasn't losing nothing with them.
Right. Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
was beating everybody. We beat
Mhm.
everybody.
Punishing them.
So and people they start asking me questions and advices and all that stuff. So I guess it came from that. And then
Mhm.
the fighters was calling me that too, best coach in the world
Right.
and this and that. And you know how I do people, man. You know how I make sure they eat, I make sure they got clothes on their back, I make sure they got water. You know how I do everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. You got a huge heart.
yeah, so so I guess that's how it came about.
Hmm.
And 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 it just made me real emotional, man, when you say it out your mouth that I deserved it. That I never looked at it that way though, but
Hmm.
I appreciate it. I'm kind of emotional right now, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
That's all right, man. It's okay. You can drop tears. Look, the only other person that's cried on my podcast is my mother. So I mean, you in good company,
Yeah,
man. It's okay. It's
yeah,
cool. It's cool. And you
and
know the
and
other thing about that, man, it's good to show that men. It's okay for men to show emotions. It's okay
yeah,
for tough men, for strong men. It doesn't say anything about your manhood for you to drop some tears or to show emotions. It's
yeah,
okay. I mean, we talking about somebody that's a pro fighter sitting here getting emotional. Like it's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with
yeah,
it at all. So I actually appreciate you feeling that way. I
yeah.
appreciate you showing that to people. So, but
You do you remember? Do you remember? You remember Ricky Womack, right?
mm-mm.
Yes, you do. The president of PBA, the president. He
Man,
run the boxing, our boxing up here.
right, man. I
Ricky
met
Womack.
we met so
I
many
seen.
people, man. I can't remember everybody.
I know you remember. I know you remember.
Yeah,
The
I probably
dude
remember
that
some
always
people.
be on the mic and he be joning and playing all the time,
Yeah, I
and
don't
he be
know.
calling the fights. He the president
Okay.
of the PVA. You know,
Uh huh.
PVA is Potomac Valley. Uh, Association,
Right.
the boxing.
Right.
I seen him 2 or 3 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I seen him like a week or two before that,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked, and he was asking me how I was feeling as far as my health and stuff. And I I told him that I feel much better than what I was.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on talking about boxing and this and that and this and that. And so 3 days ago, I seen him again, and he was in his truck. I didn't know he was in. I didn't recognize his truck. But
Mm-hmm.
he say, "Man, who name is Coach B, man? Like that tough talk.
Yeah.
Man, who name is Coach B?" So I'm looking around like, he got tents on his truck and everything. So he got out the car. I said, "Man, what's up, Rick?" He said, "He said ain't nothing, B." He said, "Man, you need to come back, man." He said, "Man, everybody love you, man."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "All the judges, all the refs." He said, "Man, everybody miss you, man." He said, "Man, everybody love you, man. You need to come back, man."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Man, you're a hell of a coach, man."
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And you see it. Wait. So when I say that you deserve it, this isn't just coming from me. This isn't just like the relationship that we have built. Is like I'm like a little brother to you. You like my big brother. That's how I
Right,
see our relationship. So it's different coming from me because it's coming from my heart. But to
right,
hear it from other people who don't have the relationship that we have, it's
right.
that tells you, man, you are very deserving of all of those things that people are saying, all of those accolades. You 100% deserve all of that stuff, man. 'Cause you really
Yeah,
are.
I
You are an
appreciate it, man.
incredible coach. Yeah, yeah,
I
and
really
not
appreciate it.
just because of your ability to coach, but because of the heart that you have. You actually
Yeah,
care. So
yeah,
that's that's a big deal. That's a huge deal, especially when it comes to sports. Um,
yeah.
okay, so I got a couple other pictures that I'm gonna put up here. They're not Rorschach test pictures, but I
Okay.
do have some other pictures, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind every time you see these pictures. Okay. All right.
Uh, oh, that's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yes, absolutely. This became my first favorite fighter because my father told me when he was boxing, this is who they compared him to.
Joe Lewis, man. If your
Yeah.
father was like Joe Lewis, man, your father was woo, woo, woo. Joe Lewis had 6 inch punch, man. Was out of this world.
Okay. All right. I got another one here for you.
Ali,
Hmm.
smooth, wicked.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Bad man. Yeah, one of the best that ever done it.
Uh-huh.
Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker, one of the best that ever
Absolutely.
done it.
Yes. Yes, man. That defense, man.
Yeah,
Man.
he got they got him as the number one defense man of the world,
Hmm.
fighter in the
So,
world. Yeah,
so who's number two?
I think I'm number one and two.
All right. So who's three and four? So Pernell Whitaker's three. Who's four?
Let me see. They got a guy named Kevin Farmer out there like that too.
All right. So I didn't think you were gonna go there. I was gonna go here.
Floyd,
Yeah.
I would have eventually got to him, but Roberto Benitez was like that too, was slipping.
Really?
Yeah, Ray
And,
couldn't
and
hit him at the beginning.
well, yeah, but better than Floyd.
Yeah, Benitez. Yeah, I think Benitez. Yeah, Benitez was like that.
Hmm. All right, but all right. So when you see this picture of Floyd, though, what comes to your mind?
Greatness.
Okay. Okay. All right. What about here?
Oh man, he came a long way, man. Marcus used to spar him.
Yeah, I remember Marcus saying that he wanted to fight. He said at one point Marcus said he said I'm gonna have two more fights and I'm gonna call Tank out.
Yeah, they used to battle, man. Marcus, Jordan, and Mike used to spar him.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but I just love when Marcus boxed. They used to go for it.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, man. The type of fighter Marcus is and the type of fighter the Tank is, absolutely,
They used to
absolutely,
bang, man.
yeah.
They used to get on each other's nerves, man. They used to take the gloves off and want to fight. Yeah.
All right, I got one more fighter here for you.
Okay. Man, that look like you.
It is me.
I know it is. I know it's you.
That's
Yeah.
and look, that's me. I was I'm out here on the Eastern Shore now. I'm not in DC anymore, but I was training somebody and I had this guy say, he said, look, he said, I want to spar a little bit. I said, you sure? And he said, yeah. He said, because I want to know what it feels like to get hit. He said, I don't want to go to the face or anything like that, just to the body. I said, all right, cool, no problem. So we put the gloves on, and he was so that picture is actually me just warming up so that my arms aren't cold and everything isn't
Yeah.
cold. So man, we were about to start, and he did this. All right, hold on before you hit me.
Oh yeah.
I said, hold up, bro. Time started. You can't do this.
Yeah.
he said, man, he said,
Yeah.
before you hit me, I just need to know how hard are you going to hit me?
Oh yeah.
I said,
Yeah,
don't
he
worry, man.
wasn't ready.
Yeah, I said, I'm not going to unload on you, but you did say you want to feel some contact. You want to feel something. So I'm gonna let you feel a little something, but I won't unload on you. He said, all right.
Yeah.
So we start going, we sparring a little bit, and I'm kind of I got my guards down a little bit because I'm trying to give him a target so he can take a target, right?
Yeah.
Take his shots. I'm trying because I was trying to teach him how to pick his shots and look for those openings, right? So but you could tell the opening was there. He wouldn't take it because he was too afraid of getting hit. So
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, I'm gonna say this name. I don't want to say his name on it, but I said, look, man. I said, just take your shots. You see them. I know that you see them because I'm creating them for you. Take your shots." So he was like, all right. So this was his first time hitting. So he take took a shot, and I said, come on, man. I know you can hit harder than that. He
Yeah.
said, all right. So he just, start moving around again. Hit me a little bit harder. I said, I know you can hit me harder than that. I said, he said, you sure? I said, man, unload on me. I want you to hit me with everything you got. Now, this dude, he bigger than me, taller and, bigger than me, right? I said,
Yeah.
man, just unload on me. I said, I can take it. He said, you sure? I said, bro, just hit me. He said, all right, man. He wound up, pow, hit me hard, right? But he
Yeah.
cocked back when he did it and just boom, hit me in my stomach, right? And I didn't budge. I just kind of looked down. I looked at him and started laughing. And he said, like he was just deflated because he thought it was going to do something to me. I said, thank
Yeah.
you for hitting me that hard. And I came back, boom, and hit him in his stomach. And I told him, don't you ever cock back a punch again. Okay. I
Yeah.
said, because
Yeah.
you're telegraphing when you do that. I said, now,
Yeah.
I won't hit you that hard again, but I had to teach you a lesson real quick. Don't you ever cock back like that
That's right.
again. And he said, all right.
That's
Well,
right.
I had to give him a couple minutes to get himself together, knock the wind out of him and everything. But, he continued to train, though. He
Oh
continued to train.
yeah.
So, yeah, yeah, he continued to train.
I'm
And
gonna
so
find me a real good heavyweight, man.
I know. That's because we've been looking. We have been trying to find somebody that's going to be consistent, somebody with a chin.
Somebody that's some all around toughness
Yes, yes, absolutely.
and athletic ability.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, man.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what we need.
yeah, one
That's what
hundred
we
percent.
need, man. Born champions be back on the map.
I know. Yeah, we gonna get back to it. We're gonna get back to it. We got too much greatness, so we definitely gonna get back to that. But all right, man. Look, we are about to wrap up.
Okay.
We don't want to give them too much because we got to leave stuff for the book and for the
Right.
documentary. We got a lot of other things coming. So, for everybody that's listening, I want you to just make sure that you don't forget that name, Coach B or Jonathan Blaine or Coach Beaver, um, because we have a lot of things that we have coming. Some pretty big things, pretty big things. Not going to
Yeah.
divulge everything, but we got some pretty big things that we got planned. So, all right, B. At this point, I normally tell people to let the people know how they can get in contact with them. Right now, if you want to do that, if you want to put out not your phone number, but if there's an email, or I know you're not on social media either. So, but what we
Nah.
can do is if they want to get in contact with you, because I really don't want you to put your number out there, but if they want to get in contact with you, I can put my information out there and they can get in contact with me, and then I will connect them with you.
That's
Um,
fine. That's fine.
okay. All
That's
right.
fine.
So, yeah.
Let
So,
them let also let them know I'm looking for a good heavyweight, about
mm-hmm,
6'6",
mm-hmm,
good heavyweight, man, so we
yeah.
can rise to the top. Young,
Yeah,
probably about
absolutely.
19,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 18 or 19. Young,
Yeah,
let us train him
right.
and go on to the top.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So if
Yep.
anybody wants to get in contact with us or with Coach B, you can hit me up. So
Oh yeah, that's fine.
yeah, so you
This
can hit me
this
up on Facebook. Now this is going to air on Facebook. So for the people that's watching on Facebook, you already have my Facebook
uh
information. But if you're watching on YouTube, oh, it's going to air on Instagram as well. So you can hit me up on Instagram. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can get in contact with me. My Facebook profile is the Tyrell Show. So it's Thetyrell. It's all one word, space, and then show. So the Tyrell Show on Facebook. On Instagram, I think it is author Tyrell James or Tyrell James, the author, is one of those two. I don't remember because Instagram is, I started my Instagram more so for my books. Um, but yeah, you can just hit me up and we will make it happen. This is for the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So
DNB.
yeah, yeah. So we will definitely make this happen. All right. So, Coach, before we get out of here, I got one more picture I want to show you. And just tell me exactly what it is that you see here.
Uh, this podcast is so dope.
And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach. I
You welcome,
appreciate
man. And
your
no
time,
problem,
man.
man. Anytime, man. You know that.
Yeah, I
We gotta
appreciate your
get these
time. I
things.
appreciate
We gotta get
your
these
honesty.
things together, man.
Yeah. Oh, we are. We definitely are. Yeah,
Oh
we gonna
yeah,
make.
I meant to tell you. You see that?
Yeah, I saw it. I see
That's
it.
wisdom.
Yeah.
That ain't number wisdom.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And one thing I
60,
learned about wisdom: when wisdom speaks, I shut up and listen. So,
60 years, man.
yeah.
60 years. Never lied. A lot of wisdom. All right, man. I love you, man. And
Love you
man,
too,
yeah,
man. All
you
right,
got a
man.
great. I want you to know you got a great show too, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Coach.
Keep up the good work.
I will. I will. I definitely will. You got my word on that.
Yeah.
All right.
And
And
let the
for the
people
rest,
out there know, man. Call you, man, so we can start getting something going.
yeah, please, please, yeah, don't hesitate to reach out and get in contact with us. We will
Yeah.
definitely make it happen. Definitely make
All
it
right.
happen. Born Champions Boxing. We will make that happen.
Born
So,
champions. That's
yep.
that's what we is.
All right. And so for the rest of y'all, y'all be easy.